So now how to get ideas. Okay, so the very first method we have is the market research. In short, we also call it as a competitor analyze. Okay, competitor analyze. So basically we have to see what our competitors are doing, what are their weak points, so we can see their weak points. And then let's say there is one API, okay, and that API has some negative points, so we can bring some feature that can solve that weakness, okay, in our own API. That means in simple, we can just go to some marketplace, we can see some competitors, we can see what kind of API they are making, we can just tweak their API, we can, let's say, improve their API, and we can improve or build our own, okay, after tweak and improve. So let me just show you with very practical example. So we have very famous one, that is Rapid API. So you can just go to Rapid API Hub, you can just sign up. Okay, so it's very simple process. So just click on, let's say, sign up button, and let's see, I will sign up with Google. Just for an example, you can just sign up with Apple or GitHub, anything. Great. So now it will ask you for a very basic things, like, let's say, Manisha. Darling, I can put my name. Coding experience, you can just put whatever you want. How do you plan to use for, let's say, for work, or let me just select some other project. Okay, what is your goal today? Let's say build and publish and monetize API. Click on the submit button. So just put some basic informations, and then you guys are good to go, and it will take you guys to the Rapid API dashboard. Of course, we will going to explore that throughout the lectures, but first we have to just click on this API hub. Okay, so just click on this API hub. Then basically you will just go to the marketplace of Rapid API. Okay, and here we can just search for anything, let's say Twitter, YouTube. So let me just search for something that is related to, let's say, YouTube. Okay, so let me just click on the enter button, and I have searched for YouTube, and now I will going to see all the APIs which are somehow related to YouTube here. Okay, and I can be, let's say, more specific. I can, let's say, search for YouTube keywords. Okay, so now I will just going to click on the enter button, and you can see I'm getting a lot of tools for YouTube keyword. Okay, so basically you can just search for anything. Okay, and let me just see here, I can see, let's say, this particular API. Let's have a look on this one. Okay, so I can just click on this, let's say, YouTube keyword API by unlimited API. That means the creator name is unlimited API. Okay, so my friends, the very first thing which you need to do is that you have to see these three things which are very much important, that is service level, latency, popularity. And if you just go to the nodes which we have mentioned, if you will just click on this find the perfect API market research, click on that, and here in the market research you will going to read it. Okay, read it, you will better going to understand in a more easy way. Okay, whatever we have taught, like what is low latency and all these things are taught here. Okay, but let me just explain you in this video as well as a small overview. First thing is you have to see is the service level. Service level is 100%. That means this API is working 100%. Okay, that means it's 100% up the server of this API are 100% up. Okay, there is no problem with the servers and everything. The API is working 100%. So that is what the service level means in a very simple way. And then we have this option called as latency. Now latency means how much time it is taking to generate result. That means if some programmer or developer will going to use this particular API on their project, so whenever they will going to use this API to get result, so how much time it will take to generate the result for that developer or programmer for their project. So it's 6 to 6 milliseconds. So that's okay, right? So you also have to see the latency of your competitors as well, that how much time is taking. Okay, so your motive must be like, for example, you also want to create one, let's say YouTube's keyword search API. You are planning to create one YouTube search API, just for an example. Okay, so your target should be, let's say, to tweak this API. That means you also have to tweak something. That means you have to change whenever you create your own API related to, let's say, YouTube keyword search. So you have to make some changes in this particular API as compared to your competitor and try to improve it. For example, if this competitor unlimited API is its latency is 626 milliseconds, so you should try that when you will going to create your API, so it should take more or less time. Okay, let's say less time, that is less than 626 milliseconds. Okay, so basically you will just going to improve your API as compared to competitors, right? So in this way other people will see, oh my god, this particular API is taking more or less latency, so we should go with this particular API. So this is what the developers or programmers will think before they will going to purchase your API. Okay, then the last thing we have is the popularity. So popularity is also very much important. So you can see that out of 10 this person is getting 9.4. so that's okay. Basically on an average the popularity should be 7 and above. Okay, so if you are getting the popularity of 7 or let's say above, so that means that you are basically or your API is basically doing great. Okay, so these are the three criteria which you have to see, that is service level, latency and popularity, right? And make sure that when you will going to create your API, okay, so just see your competitors how much they have all these figures, and your motive should be to improve your API as compared to your competitors. Okay, so for example, let's say if your popularity rate of your competitor is 8, so you have to try to build popularity 9. And when popularity will going to come, when your API will going to provide, let's say, less latency. Okay, very less latency, and the service level is when 100%, right? And not only this, there are other parameters as well, like pricing. If you will just go to pricing, so for example you can see this particular API is has two plans, that is 0 and pro plan. So $10 is kind of normal. So make sure that whenever you create your own API, so see the competitors pricing, what pricing they have keep, and according to that you have to make sure that you keep your pricing very much close to the competitor. Okay, so that is what you should consider. And let's subscribe this particular one. Subscribe, it's free. Okay, so you can see subscription created successfully, right? Now you can just go to endpoints after you will subscribe to this API, which is free. Okay, now if you just go and see the endpoints, so basically endpoints, if you will just click on test endpoints, so you can see that this is the result we are getting here. Okay, so you can see it has given us 200 success. That means 200 success is a server code. That means that this particular API is working and sending the request 100%. So here my friends, you can see that in this particular API is only providing you, let's say, 13 keywords. Okay, only 13 keywords. It is not providing you other data like search volume. So this can be the weakness. See, first weakness is this: they are only providing 13 keywords. But you can also give to your audience more features. Like what you can do, you can provide your you can whenever you will going to build your own API, so what you can do, you can include more features as compared to your competitors. Okay, for example, if your competitor is providing only 13 keywords, so on your API you can provide, let's say, 15, and along with that you can also provide the search volume. That means how many people are searching for this keyword, like that, right? So that is what I have said you, that whenever you see your competitors, so you always have to tweak it, whatever API they have made. So you must create your own. That means you have to build your own API and you have to tweak it. That means you have to change your API little bit as compared to your competitors, and you have to try to improve it, okay, with more features and functionality. Okay, and for example, here you can see the request here is for the string food, so it's providing you all the keywords that are related to food, right? So that's how, my friends, you have to just analyze the market, okay, in some big websites like Rapid API, and see how they are, working. Okay, so let me just search for YouTube keywords again, and now let me just go ahead and check some other tools as well. Okay, so for example, here you can see that we have, let's say, this domain SEO analyze. So let's also see this particular API. So it's related to SEO. Okay, SEO analyze. So here also, let's say, you can see the same thing, like service level. You can see it's very poor, it's 56%. So let's say you are planning to create your own SEO analyze API or domain SEO analyze API. So you can see this competitor. Okay, so he is popular as well. But what you can do is that you can create your own API and you can just try to improve your API. That means you can just focus more on the service level. That means you can make your server very strong, so that it will 100% up and running. And latency, that means the result generation time should be less. You can see it's very high latency. Okay, so so in your case you can just improve it by making the latency less, right? So that's how you have to analyze your competitors through this Rapid API website. So basically it's a marketplace where we will going to also after building our API, we will going to publish it. Okay, so it's one of them, that is Rapid API. So we will going to talk about this, but that's how this works, my friend. Okay, so in this way, my friends, you guys have to do market research. You have to analyze your competitors, and whenever you build your own API, so try to make some tweaks. That means try to change something as compared to your competitors, and try to improve your API as compared to your competitors.